And welcome to Columbus, folks, the world-famous Ohio State Buckeyes.
Y'all Scarlet Unis, I think they'll sweet.
So Ohio State needs to do a few things to have a successful season in 2025. They obviously are coming off one of the greatest playoff runs in college football history, but even with that championship, there still were some things throughout the season that kind of left a sour taste in your mouth if you're a diehard Buckeyes fan, but nonetheless, a championship is a championship at the end of the day, and it's something that will never be forgotten when you think about Ohio State. But 2025 is ultimately a brand new year and a fresh slate, and the new players have even asked for all the championship banner stuff to be removed out of the facility because this is a new year, a new team, and honestly, I love it. I still would love to know what last year's Buckeyes team would have looked like if they played with more tempo and aggression in the regular season. They definitely played way too slow and the offense looked sluggish because of it. Will Howard never got in a rhythm. But if Ohio State played fast and aggressive, and I mean real aggression, with no fear, they would have not lost the Michigan game. They probably would have had a perfect season if we're being honest. So heading into this season with a new offensive coordinator that has been with and knows this system, the Buckeyes offense needs to be all gas, no brakes, and that needs to start week 1 against Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns. So that is my first key, and in this video I'm going to be talking about all the keys obviously, but before I do begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind, and your support truly means the world. Alright, so yeah, my first key is to be all gas, no brakes. The championship has already been won. Ryan Day's job is secure. There literally is no reason to do nothing but be all gas and no brakes, especially with a new quarterback under center in Julian Sayin, who I am super pumped about. And speaking of Julian Sayin, he is the second key to the Buckeyes winning back-to-back national championships. I know he still is not like officially the starting quarterback for 2025, but this is a former Gatorade Player of the Year. He has a lot more upside than Lincoln Keenholz in my opinion, a guy that I view as more of like a Devin Brown type of player. Sayin has a natural quick whip and he's one of the smoothest players you will see, so when you compare the two players hand in hand, I just think that Julian Sayin is the clear choice, at least for 2025. He's also just a guy that carries himself like a future superstar, even during his time on the bench. And I really think that we are going to see Julian Sayin get the football to Jeramiah Smith out in space a lot more from the beginning of time to get in a rhythm. And I love Howard, he was a great quarterback for this team, but Julian got an entire year, including a 4-game playoff run, to watch Jeramiah Smith and Carnell Tate from the sideline. He knows all the tendencies, and I expect him to build chemistry pretty quick right out of the gates. It's exciting to know what the future is between the quarterback and receiver position as a Bucs fan. And that brings me to my third key for the 2025 season, and that is the wide receiving room. I think it's safe to say we all know what to expect from the 1 and 2 spot with Jeramiah Smith and Carnell Tate, but the big question is, and I don't even want to say question, it's more of a big opportunity, but the big question is, who's going to be the guy that comes in and becomes that number 3 guy? Because it's going to be a super important role, there's no doubt about it, because the attention from the secondaries are going to be on Smith and Tate. So for that third guy, the world is going to be his oyster. It's going to be one-on-one matchup after one-on-one matchup, and sometimes it might not even be anyone, it could just be a zone, so it's a huge opportunity. And right now, one of the biggest names for that role is Brandon Inniss, a guy who we saw get some action last year, and a guy that has shown a ton of potential so far. He had that one crossing route touchdown against Penn State, so him getting consistent playing time could lead to that breakout season that everyone knows that he can have. But outside of him, there's Quincy Porter, a guy who in 3 years of high school caught 133 passes and had 38 touchdowns. He's really young and raw, so I expect him to sort of be in that Brandon Inniss role that we saw last season. And Inniss should have had a bigger role, but Jeramiah Smith came in and moved everyone back one spot on the depth chart. Another guy to potentially watch out for as well is Mylan Graham. He showed some impressive skills in the spring game. In one of his recent press conferences, he said to expect explosiveness out of him, and he said that he is more than willing to do whatever it takes to help the team. So it's great to see a talented guy on the back end of the depth chart with that mindset. That's how you win favor from the coaching staff and create some opportunities for yourself. Alright, now it's time to move to the fourth key for next season, and it's the running back room. There was obviously huge roster turnover with both Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson going to the NFL, NFL, Judkins to the Browns, and Henderson to the Patriots. But even if the room is a little worse and does not have continuity, I think CJ Donaldson from West Virginia was a big time addition, especially with how he could complement James Peoples. Donaldson is honestly sort of like a Judkins. He's physical and runs super hard, but at the same time he is versatile and can also catch passes out of the backfield. Over the last few months, he has really been trying to shed a few pounds to become faster and even more versatile than he already is. And then on the other hand of things, James Peoples also lost a bunch of weight this offseason. Ranton himself said that the dude is one of the biggest hard workers he's ever seen, and that hard work has finally paid off with this opportunity. He of course has been with the Buckeyes, so he knows exactly what to expect by now. Now it's just about executing and letting the O-line create the holes and then to just follow. Alright, now for the biggest key to the season. It's not a specific player, position, or coach, it's a task. The Buckeyes need to beat Michigan. I know the times have changed, and with the new playoff system that I love, it's great, but I think it has kind of created that new sense of that nothing matters outside of the playoffs. And I have seen recent podcasts even saying that the Michigan game is not as important anymore with the changing landscape than it used to be, but I want that narrative to change. Even with that national championship run, I don't know if I can handle watching another loss to Michigan. I know I'm spoiled because being 20 years old, I literally witnessed 10 straight years of dominance with Urban Meyer. Really, since I became aware of what was happening, I never saw Ohio State lose the game. But the last 4 years have been pretty brutal, and it's not just the fact that the Bucks have lost, it's how they lost, because a lot of the reasons they lost were so stupid in my opinion. They were playing conservative, holding back, and just trying not to make mistakes, and ultimately it came back to haunt them in the big moments. I mean, how on earth do you go on the playoff run that the Buckeyes did and play that kind of football and score 10 points against an unranked Michigan team that was not very good? That was a pathetic game from start to finish. Even a little bit of aggression would have at least scored 3 touchdowns, but Ryan Day completely wet the bed, but it is what it is. The Buckeyes won the championship, but now this season it's time to bring back the dominance over Michigan, and I don't care what anyone says. And on top of that, I would love to see the Buckeyes win the Big Ten championship as well, even though not playing in that game kind of did them a favor in 2024. That's really all I have to say for this video though. I think the Buckeyes are going to once again have an amazing season, but I do think there are a few positions that stand out the most when you're looking at the outlook of this team. So let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments below, and if there was any position that I missed that I should have covered. I know I didn't really talk about defense that much. I expect the defense to be more than solid. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed, and let me know what you would like to see next. And until then, I will see you all later.